Yeah, as Mac mentioned, we have 52 counties in the state of Mississippi that have declared an emergency. The mayor, and look, I know he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's getting attacked from all sides. When he said yesterday that he couldn't get in touch with me, that just wasn't accurate. The first I heard from the mayor was yesterday at 1:38 p.m. yesterday afternoon via text. I immediately responded. But all of that is semantics. What's important is that we focus on getting the people that need help. When you look at many of the challenges that the city of Jackson are dealing with now, they're not challenges that were born in the last day or the last week. Many of these challenges in their water system were born over literally 30, 40, 50 years of negligence and ignoring the challenges of the pipes and the system. And so that 50 years of deferred maintenance is not something we're going to fix in the next 6 to 8 hours. But what we can do is work very hard to get the citizens of Mississippi and the citizens of Jackson the things that they need. So yesterday, for instance, and by the way, my emergency management team has been in constant contact with people from the city of Jackson, dating back to last week, and have provided them anything that meets the threshold for what federal law requires. We have gotten them what they need. So yes, before I give you an example, the way the federal process works, and we can't ignore federal law. We are under the Stafford Act, and the Stafford Act guides every process that is already in place, same process that's in place for the ice storm last week because of the emergency declaration that I did prior to the storm coming in, is the same process that's in place when we have a hurricane. It's the same process that's in place when we have a tornado. It's exactly the same process that was in place when we had flooding in and around the city of Jackson a year ago. And so I'll give you an example of some of the things we've done other than providing bottles of water, et cetera. Yesterday there was an issue and concerns, and rightfully so, regarding fire protection. Well, the fire protection that is at issue inside the city is due to the lack of water and the inability for them to utilize their system. And so what has to happen according to federal law is it has to be determined that other local governmental entities cannot supply what is needed before it can be entered into the EMAC system, which then goes for the state to either provide it or find other communities to do so. Well, when fire service became an issue early yesterday, and it became clear to my team, my lawyers, our emergency management team, we put the city of Jackson in contact, which I don't know why they weren't, but in contact with Hinds County. And what we found is, and Matt can speak to this in the specifics, what we found is, of course, that Hinds County has, I believe, 11 volunteer fire departments. Those 11 volunteer fire departments are able and capable of providing fire service for the city of Jackson. And so that's what they're doing now. The reason all that's important is because had that step not been taken to see if we could get it handled at the local level and the state had just automatically stepped in, our friends and partners at the federal government would have said, well, that's great that y'all stepped in, but we ain't paying for it. And so we have an obligation to the taxpayers of all the state to make sure that we are efficiently managing this particular situation, and we're going to do that. And I know the mayor has had a hard time. It's been tough, and maybe he misspoke yesterday, and that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I don't think anybody should be worried about that. The only thing we should worry about is getting the supplies to the people in our state that need it, and we think that is certainly improving. Some of those issues, again, are not going to be solved. We got to have the Public Works Department at the city has got to at least temporarily fix the pipes that have been burst. I know the Public Works Director has communicated this morning with my personal staff as well as the emergency management team, and that's good. But we don't we're going to continue to work with them to get this issue resolved.